Hi there, Vine community and YouTube. Sorry if I'm a little bit unshaven, but I'm having one of these lazy Saturdays where I stay at home and do what I please. So I hope you can bear with me. This was not planned to be a day when I was going to shoot a movie, but I watched a video by MeanMr Mayo, Joe. Hello there. This is a response for you and the little thread question that you had about how many times we listen to records before the record gets into us. And it's a very interesting subject, and once again one of these videos where I talk and I hope that you understand what I'm saying. To give stuff a second chance is very important. Sometimes it's not all that important, especially when it comes to stuff that we already know that we're going to like. In my opinion, we have to trust ourselves in what we like. I know what I like, what kind of music that I really want to have in my collection, and what kind of music styles that I want to have. Jazz, funk, soul, 80s, new wave, synth pop, and so on. Then of course every now and then I do blind buys, but then often I try to read among the musicians or who's producing it to see if this is something that I really would get interested in. But I feel no use of something that I already know is good to listen to it again. I mean, if I buy a Depeche Mode album and I listen to it and I found, wow, this was one hell of an album. I love this one. Why would I listen to it again just to make sure that I really like it? I mean, I know what I want in a Depeche Mode album. They have lived up to my expectations. End of discussion. That is, I don't need to get a second proof that this was really good. I know that this was really good. And the same is when it comes to records that I really don't like when I listen to it, that I feel that this wasn't all that interesting. The chances that I would love it even more if I gave it a second chance are very slim. I'm not going to say that it's impossible. It has happened, but it's very slim, because I know that I trust my sense when it comes to what I like, and just to listen to it again and again to please someone else who said that you got to give this a second chance and listen to it again. I mean, I remember an episode during my life when I was sending for a community radio station, and I had a person that I worked with there who was very fond of a Swedish comedian group, Killinggänget, who were famous for doing a series like Nile City and their follow-up series Percy Tears. And their comic style was not my style. It was very odd and bizarre humor, and I said that I don't like that. And I said, you can't say that, you haven't seen it, you got to give it a chance, you got to watch it. And I really felt like I didn't, but I did it. I said, okay, I'll give it a chance. I watched tonight's episode, and I did, and I didn't like it. It was filled with humor of drugs and sex, and it was very, very phony and very stupid. And I said that when I came back to the guy, I'm sorry, but I didn't like this one bit. And he said, no, this was a bad episode. You have to wait until there is a good episode. I just shook my head. Why would I sit and wait for an episode that the one who wanted me to see it likes? when I obviously don't like the style of the humor, I trusted my opinion that this is not good. So I never watched this comedy series again, and I'm very proud of it. Then of course I know that there are times when you do find new stuff that some records actually do needs to be listened a couple of times before you get into it. But the problem is that normally I don't. The chances that I would actually like this more just because I listened to it 2 or 3 or 4 times in a row are very, very slim. Then of course, if I do want to make it, to give it another chance, I have to let it go a couple of years to see if my musical taste has changed through the years. There are examples of artists that or albums that I didn't like all that much from the beginning, but a couple of years later, I have grown an interest in that musical style that made me change that my opinions about that record. But that is because I changed my musical style. I have my musical taste have changed through the years. This is one example. This is BG Spirit Having Flown. Back when I had a copy of this album as a teenager, and I didn't like it one bit, but for some reason it stayed in the cellar along with a couple of other 70s albums. And then when I started to collect 70s, and I started to realize that I did that about 20 years later, I started to realize that this isn't all bad at all. So I bought this album past summer, listened to it, and realized that this actually isn't all that bad. But I didn't listen to it twice in a row. I trusted what I liked, and this might be good, and it was. This Sonny Rollins CD was another example. When I bought this one, I thought it was a pretty okay album, but it was a little bit boring. Now, my jazz interest has developed, and today I love this album. I think it's relaxing, it's smooth, and but it took me about 10 years before I realized that this actually is really good. So if I'm going to change my opinion about an album, I have to go many years, and I have to realize that my musical taste may have changed since I listened to it the first time, but it has nothing to do with giving an album a second chance. Many of your opinions, Joe, were very true, what you said, and I really liked much of what you said. I have tons of records that I'm going to listen to that I haven't listened to yet, and I don't have the time then to sit and try to wear in an album until I do like it, and but so if it's an album that I don't like and that I'm disappointed at, it goes out the door. I get rid of it, no doubt about it. I mean, I want to be able to listen to as many records as I can. I can't listen to all of the records that I haven't been listening to yet, but my goal is to listen to as many as I can, and especially those that I have bought recently, to give the record a chance to prove that it was right to buy this one. And I'm curious about how this record sounds like that I just bought, to actually stay within the curiosity that I had when I bought this album. And then of course culling is the most important, the most hardest thing. I had to cull and get rid of some records that I haven't been listening to, and then I have to really trust my sense, to trust what I like and think, because I had to. It's not possible that I can listen to 10 records in a row that I want to know if I'm going to get rid of them or not. Then my culling would take almost the entire year. So I had to listen to quick peaks and listen to the sound, listen to the production, listen to the melody, and hear if this really lived up to my expectation. I know that I might be missing a lot then. An album to listen to the entire album to get the whole picture. But that is what I can do then, because I know what I want when it comes to the production and so on, and I have to trust that this was not all that interesting as I thought. I really wish that I had the time to listen to my favorite records more than I can actually. When I was younger, I had not as big collection as I have now, and then I could listen to my favorite records over and over. And I think most of our favorite records are our opinions about our favorite records are created as a child, and then we have moved on, taken them with us through the years. Many of them, not all, of course. And it is that with me. But sometimes, if I want to listen to my favorite records, I have to find alternative listening methods. Like if I'm one morning, Saturday morning, if I laying in bed and I want to lay in bed for a while and have a little cozy time, I might put on a record, my favorite record, and have it slow in the background. And then, or if I take a walk outside and I want to listen to something that I'm familiar with, and then I can take one of my favorite records, because then I can't focus on on trying to get an opinion about a brand new record if I'm laying in the bed or if I'm taking a walk or so on. Then I want to listen to something familiar, and then I can take some of my favorite records. That is a good way to keep the collection fresh and vital, and even after the first listening. So it's hard to be a collector sometimes. I know that reviewers in the media, in the newspapers, are listening to records, many of them anyway, 4 or 5 times. But that's their work, because they want to promote or write about something that we, the customers, are supposed to buy. That doesn't mean that I, as a private collector, have to do the same just to know if I'm going to keep this record or not, because I have to trust that I know what I like, and that this the record that I have listened to is either as good as I wanted it to be, or if it is a disappointment, it doesn't match my taste. So I hope that made some sense to your question, Joe, or that you at least had enjoyed my rambling. Hope that you and everybody else have a really nice weekend, and until next time, so long.